but clearly we have to come to terms with the hatred that has been evidenced against one another, and that's an underlying societal issue, which I really blame on both the social media and its impact, as well as a loss of faith in institutions and loss of faith generally. Unfortunately, it certainly was appropriate to suspend the campaign. I was on a Zoom call with both Republicans and Democrats last evening, and obviously a widespread shock and prayers is the immediate reaction and concern for the country and for where we're headed. So there's I think everyone's kind of regrouping and figuring out where to go from here. I think it's appropriate the Republicans are moving forward with their convention as well.
What do you make of what we've been hearing earlier? And we've certainly been hearing on this show, where we just spoke to Greg Swenson, the chair of Republicans overseas, saying that some of this animosity towards Donald Trump from the Democrat side, some of the language used, comparing him to authoritarians, this comparison to dictators, that this has sort of added that enormous fuel to the fire, which can lead to events like this. Now, of course, it's really important to say that we don't know yet the motives behind this attack. But a lot of people pointing out to this sort of hatred of Donald Trump for certain parts of the Democrat side may have added to the heat surrounding the conversation.
Well, I think the rhetoric in this campaign is extreme and needs to change. This hopefully can be a hinge point to lead to that change. I know Peggy Noonan in the Wall Street Journal wrote about that theme. I saw this morning a Democratic candidate for Senate in New Jersey was reminded about the fact that when Lincoln was shot, he was wearing a coat that said "One country, one destiny," and that we need to kind of regroup and focus on that and try to find this to be a unifying moment. But clearly, we have to come to terms with the hatred that has been evidenced against one another, and that's an underlying societal issue, which I really blame on both the social media and its impact, as well as a loss of faith in institutions and loss of faith generally. Unfortunately.
Now, focusing on the Democrats at the moment, as we've been saying, the campaign has been suspended for today. Before these events, all the focus had been on Joe Biden and his suitability to be the Democratic candidate. Is that conversation going to change now? How will it be affected by events from yesterday?
Well, some of the Democrats I heard from and other observers last evening were speculating this may change the calculus of people who want to run for president on the Democratic side. It may make it easier for President Biden to remain the candidate. I think there will still be focus on his capabilities. He's been out there trying to demonstrate his leadership ability, and certainly the coming weeks will be telling in that regard. But it may be, I had thought before this happened, I thought that he would not be the nominee of the party, but I'm changing that calculation. I think he may well end up being the nominee of the party. But the nature of the campaign and what we're going to focus on is changing dramatically.
Do you expect that nature of the campaign to change, as you said, but to change to what? What do you think the conversation will be dominated by now, between now and November?
Well, what I hope, I'm not sure it'll come true, but what I hope is that both sides, both candidates focus squarely on the issues, on the economy, on immigration, on public safety, and international issues, and as well as articulating their vision for the future. I think that's what people want to hear. They want to hear about issues, and they want to hear about a vision for the future, and leave the personalities and the demagoguery to the side, and just kind of focus. And I think both parties would benefit from that kind of a focus.